Okay, this is going to be a little bit of a tutorial on how to make signs. I'm making some store closing signs for a store I have in Pocatello, Idaho. I've decided to chase a different dream, and this is kind of getting in the way. So I'll show you in some shorts the Cricut and printing. And start by telling you I'm not about brand names, so I buy bulk vinyl on Amazon. I'll show you the link for that. I buy also on Amazon in a bulk pack of 25. These are 18 by 24 signs, corrugated signs. Anything smaller than that just isn't going to be seen. Think about cars going past at 20, 30, 40 miles an hour. They're not going to see a small sign or small print. So 18 by 24 is what I go with. On my transfer paper, transfer tape, I also do not get caught up in the brand names. I buy this over at the dollar store. Get a big roll of it, magic cover they call it, and I use this as my transfer tape. I use one piece over and over and over again. So there's the beginning part. To begin with, I'm going to show you peeling. I do have one of the little peeling sticks. I've got several of them, but do you think I know where any of them are right now? Nope. So I'm going to bend it on a spot where the machine cut and just going to start pulling. I don't worry about extra vinyl because I tend to use my Cricut for making signs, and I'm always using large print. I used to keep all my small pieces in case I had a mistake and I needed to print just like one letter. It just really doesn't happen very often, and I had a mess. I just had chaos and a mess. So as you can see, that went really quickly. I'm really fond of this. I'll actually get the box really quick and show you which one I'm using. They did change it for a little while, and it was not good. But they had some negative reviews, and they went back to what they were. So this is the brand name here, vinyl adhesive. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's the information. Buy that on Amazon. I get, I don't even remember. It's like 10 by 40 for like 20 bucks, less than 20 bucks. So like I said, I usually have a pick, and again, I did not go brand name with my pick. I just picked one up at the dollar store. I do like the dollar store for some things, but I like to check out Hobby Lobby. A lot of times Hobby Lobby's having 40% off sale, and it's cheaper than the dollar plus store. You get your things there and you get a higher quality product. Now, I did not measure. I had previously made some signs, and I forgot that the word interest was smaller on those signs. So I used the same size letters, and it's not going to fit, as you can see, because I wanted to put thrift store. So I printed out thrift, and it's not all going to fit. But I did discover that by being creative here, I could get the words in there. Matter of fact, I think I already did the other side of the sign. So I just got a little bit creative with my letters. You're still going to be able to get the gist of it and see what it says, even though I didn't have the space. But I had already printed like 5 sets. So we're rolling with it. And what I do, again, I've got my transfer paper. Transfer tape, some people will call it, clear from the dollar store. I reuse my piece over and over. And I'm going to squish up the word closing so that I can fit that in. So you rub it on there, turn it over, and you want to peel the stickers away from what they were printed on. The more times you use the piece of transfer tape, the harder it gets. So when you start to struggle with it, just cut a new piece. But you can save yourself a lot of budget. Now I'm going to get it down as close as I can here and over to the edge, and then I'm just going to press them down one letter at a time so that I can put it closer together than the original print. I do it the way that I found works for me. Everybody's going to have their own way that they like to do it. But as you can see, this paper is going to stick again and again and again, so there is absolutely no need to cut a new piece for every transfer of every letter or of every word. I've already done everything I showed you a minute ago. I did with just this one piece. So we're going to peel what it was printed on away so that it stays stuck to the sticky paper instead of the paper it printed on. I'll show you in a minute what happens if you do that the other way. Well, obviously this is faster when you're not trying to remake the wheel. Usually when you've printed this out, you're going to transfer it off exactly the way it was printed on the paper. At least that's the way I do it. Okay, now we'll go back here to the C. When I stick this on, if I leave my, as you can see, so that wrinkled, I want to fix it, and I can pull it away, and that C stays stuck to the paper that it originally printed on. Now if I try to peel this away, it's going to stay stuck to the paper it printed on. If I flip it over and I pull away the paper it printed on, it pulls right off. And now, by making those letters closer together than I originally printed them, I've given myself a little bit of space. Let me get one of my word store. This one's bigger. This word store is from the previous print, and it's bigger than the store letters that I printed today. So again, you can feel faster when you've got your little pick to get you started, but if you don't have your pick, just find where there's a cut and you can pull it away. The pick just kind of helps get it started. The pick's helpful if your machine didn't print all the way through. Maybe you didn't have the right depth set on your machine, but see how beautifully that vinyl peels. I'm really, really fond of this. Like I said, if you look at the reviews for the product, you'll see some really bad reviews, and as a matter of fact, I was one of them because they changed it for a minute and it was awful. It gummed up your machine, it gummed up your boards. It was terrible, but they went ahead and made the changes, changed it back. I think they were trying to save a penny, and they lost lots of pennies doing it. Okay, so you can see that word store is smaller than the previous print that I did for a different project. So I'm going to line it up here. And again, I can see if I just kind of squish my letters closer together, I'm going to be able to work around that and fit the word store on there. So I'm going to use, usually I would cut another piece that's the size of these letters so I don't have that over the top. But for the quick sake of being quick, again, press that vinyl into your transfer tape and peel the plastic away that it printed onto. And I'm gonna get that as close as I can to the edge and get these letters a little bit closer than the way they printed originally. I have made a lot of signs, so don't be discouraged if you don't move along real quickly at first. But I can make a sign for just a couple bucks versus paying some company. Do I want to make the E kind of wonky? Do I want to bring it up? I think we're just going to bring it up just a little bit. It's going to overlap in there, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think people are going to get the general gist. I should probably have gone up a little bit with my other letters. But this is just a store closing sign. We're just getting it done. That's crazy how that blends in. But if I wanted to, I could pick the O and the R off and lift them up a little bit. But I don't think it's necessary. I think you can still get the gist of what it says. And I'll go ahead and turn that so you can see it in the view. So I've done this double-sided, and just takes, once you get good at it, just takes a little while. I can make, I don't know, I've never timed myself, so I can't tell you how fast I can make a sign, but I'll go ahead and take that down and maybe try and zoom out a little bit. Let's see if I can flip it. I don't really want to get myself in there.
Here I am.